want to take those shots. You know, as part of the legacy, I want those shots. I want the big-time plays.
Special moment for a special player. Happy to be a part of it.
It's a big-time shot by a big-time player.
The Max Kellerman Show on ESPN Radio, ESPN News, the ESPN app, and Sirius XM Channel 80, and on your smart speaker. I couldn't tell. Was I on camera then or not, Raj? I looked up, and there I was. I thought we were going to be seeing highlights. Reach me at 888-SAY-ESPN, 888-729-3776. The Max Kellerman Show is presented by Progressive Insurance. All guests join us in the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. All I can say about the Lakers game is that Kobe Bryant passed since the last time they played the NBA Finals. I was dropping my daughter, Esther, at basketball practice. Not dropping her, I stay there for it. Steady buckets. Shout out Coach Mackey and Lefty here in New York. And one of the custodians there comes up to me. You hear about Kobe? I was like, what are you talking about? And he told me what happened. I said, wait, I looked online, and sure enough, and his daughter was on there. It was like the worst thing you could, and especially like, you know, I knew Kobe a little bit when I was in L.A. We used to talk and text from time to time. And he was like a real family guy. Kobe was like thinking about his kids and his family all the time. Like sometimes I get like a text by accident. Like at one time in particular I'm thinking of where it'd be like, hey, I'm going to grab the whatever, popcorn or whatever it was he was picking up because they had family movie night. I guess I was the last person he texted before he texted home. Like a real family guy. And used to talk about Gianna all the time. And so there I am with my daughter dropping her off at basketball practice, father-daughter, you know. And I heard this happen to Kobe, who, by the way, Kobe Bryant, I'm not saying he's one of the. Kobe Bryant was the brightest athlete I ever spoke to. I don't know what his measured IQ was, but he was a very, very smart guy. Obviously without a lot of formal education because he went right from high school. But he was a citizen of the world and had a lot of kind of worldly education and was just a very, not just driven, a very smart guy. So it was devastating to hear about. And considering the depths to which the Lakers had sunk, the fact that this is the first time the playoffs roll around and LeBron and AD have them right back knocking on the door to the finals. And instead of a series being knotted 1-1, it's 2-0 Lakers because AD hits a shot. And after he shoots, it says Kobe, as a generation of kids have done and players have done. What an amazing way to honor the legacy of Kobe Bryant. So that's the first thing on my mind. Here's the next. What were Plumlee and Grant doing? What were they doing on that play? What was the idea defensively there? Lakers also got away with one. But maybe AD hits the shot with a guy in his face anyway. He's 7 feet tall. And here's finally what I thought about. I thought about Giannis. See, everyone now is talking about, well, AD has it. Did he prove with this shot that, you know, he has what it takes to win a championship? Why couldn't he do this in New Orleans? I'm trying to explain to people how hard it is to win a championship in the NBA. Okay, if you're a big, you must have a non-big as good as you to win a championship. If you're one of the greatest bigs who ever lived, you must have another dude just as good as you who's not a big if you want to win a title. Now, let me get to the exceptions first. Hakeem Olajuwon, although the Rockets were loaded the second time. The first time in a league without Michael Jordan. Don't forget, when Jordan came back, it was it for Olajuwon and them, right? No more Rockets championships. But the first one, Hakeem didn't have another dude like him on the floor. But neither did Patrick Ewing, and that's who he was playing. And he did have a really good team, including like a young Sam Cassell, Robert Horry. He had a lot of... So that's an exception. Every 10 or 15 years, you might find one exception. Here's another one. You could say Tim Duncan. Well, Tim Duncan the first time had another big as good as him, and the game was different then. And then the next 4 times had some permutation of Parker, Ginobili, and Kawhi. Yes, Kawhi was young, but okay, if you don't have anyone as good as you, but you have 2 or 3 future Hall of Famers on the team, maybe you can get away. Those are the exceptions. All the other all-time dominant bigs, from Wilt Chamberlain, who his entire career had one, and then with the Lakers got one more, had to play with Jerry West to get that one more. Jerry West. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has 6 chips, 1 with Oscar Robertson, 5 with Magic Johnson, none with anyone else. Shaq has 4 chips, 0 with Penny. Even as great as Penny was, that wasn't enough because he's not the equivalent of Shaq. But a prime Dwayne Wade and a prime Kobe, that's the equivalent of Shaq, who's a non-big. He's got 1 with Wade and 3 with Kobe. Even Shaq, Kareem, Wilt. You ain't getting it without another dude as good as you. AD had no shot with the Pelicans. He's a big. Yeah, he came up as a point guard and he grew a foot, like whatever, when he was 15 or whatever it was, and so he can handle. That's true, but he's a big. Is he a center? Is he a power forward? Doesn't matter. He's a rim-protecting big. I think of that as a center, but call him a power forward. Whatever. I think of Duncan as a center, too, really. But if you want to call him power forwards, whatever. You know, Karl Malone, Charles Barkley, those are power forwards. If you're a rim-protecting guy, I consider you a 5. But whatever you consider it, he's a big. He needs another dude as good as him. Respect to, like, Drew Holiday, who I think is excellent. But Drew Holiday is not the guard equivalent of Anthony Davis, LeBron James is. This is how hard it is in the NBA to win. LeBron plus AD, yup, they're probably going to win a championship. I thought it wouldn't be till next year. Very well might be this year. Maybe this year. Giannis, Chris Middleton ain't going to do it. Ain't going to do it. If you had Bradley Beal and Chris Middleton and you didn't have to give anything up, maybe, but maybe not. It's real hard. And that's what last night was about. AD is knocking on the door because he's playing with a dude every bit as good as him who's not a big, who's a ball handler. LeBron is making moves, pointer to give the Lakers a 2-0 lead in the Western Conference Championships. Is there a new quarterback in the NFL's Big Five? No doubt is next. The wait is finally over. Football season is here, which means Hulu has live sports. You can watch your favorite players like Baker Mayfield on Hulu Plus Live TV. Get access to over 65 live channels, plus the largest streaming TV library, including exclusive originals and the hottest shows and movies. Start your free trial today so you don't miss a moment of the action. Live TV plan required. Restrictions available. Learn more at Hulu.com.
Making Moves is brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs. Build your winning team today. Go to linkedin.com/sports.
The new ESPN app, now with ESPN